Hey folks, Lindsay Huddleston with SPS back in the building. Another SPS Mental Health Moment. Been able to track down one of the most popular and sought after young men in the state of Michigan, probably Midwest and throughout the country, Mr. Andrel Anthony. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, thanks for making yourself available. Really wanted to talk to you during this SPS Mental Health Moment to get your feedback as a, outstanding athlete, student athlete that is, over at East Lansing High School, both football and basketball, just to really see how you're doing during this coronavirus quarantine and all those things. But for those who have been living under a rock and may not be familiar with who you are, why don't you give us some background and kind of recap the season you had and talk about everything that led up to that day when you got the call that the basketball season was going to end?
Well, I mean, it was crazy because I already had a lot going on with football, so it was like it was kind of a bummer because I wasn't going to official or visits after the season for basketball. But with my basketball team, it was definitely a bummer because playing with those seniors, it was just a lot of memories made, and like we put a lot of effort and time into it, especially to bounce back from the year before that. Because the year before went 10-11, and this year we were 19-2 and still going. So it was
Wow.
definitely a bummer. So I just remember the last practice we had, it was just like we were practicing like it was our last practice, and then we had team dinner after it. Just like we kind of felt like it was the end because the game the next day got canceled, but we're just like, let's just make memories. So
Right, I get that. So tell me what it's like, man, for young people who get this kind of call. I mean, of course, none of us have ever experienced this before. It's not like your coaches or your parents can say, oh, I remember when I went through something like this. What is it like for you when you first got the news, and how have you been doing up until this point, several weeks into this quarantine?
well, it's definitely very disappointing because I mean we worked hard like all year for that. Especially we had a goal to get to the Breslin. Our goal was that my sophomore year, but we didn't achieve that. So we just kept going, pushing forward like that. I mean, it was very like heartbreaking, but at the same time, you just got to move forward. I mean, before they canceled everything, at first they had just postponed it. So I mean, we just stayed positive, stuff like that, kept working, staying active. But I mean, even though they canceled the whole season, like the rest of it, you still got to work because I mean, this basketball season next year, this football season next year. So I mean, you can't just mope around about it. It's how are you about to, or what are you about to do to get ready for the next season?
Yeah, I see your shirt says dreams take work. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's from my AU team. I used to play with in AU, 8th and ninth grade for basketball. And, like, we made these shirts, Dreams Take Work, because, I mean, to achieve your dreams, you got to work very hard because, I mean, everybody's dream is to be a professional athlete or something like that. I mean, you got to separate yourself.
Right. Very good. Very good. Now, I've been talking to a lot of other athletes and they talk about what they've been going through. How do you think this experience is going to shape you as a young adult and shape your adult life? I know to ask you to think about being an adult is kind of, putting it way out there. But how do you think this is going to have an impact on how you look at the world going forward?
Well, definitely don't take anything for granted because just like it can be taken away from you. Like that's with anything. And that's a life lesson. So don't overlook just the small stuff that you think is because it could just be gone. I mean, another lesson I learned is just persevere through anything. I mean, whether this time, I mean, I can't go work out with my team, can't run routes, but I mean, it's not like I don't have stuff here. I can't do push-ups, bench press, all that stuff. So just make the most of everything.
So even with all the notoriety you've been getting for sports, particularly in football, you're still finding things you can do. What does your workout look like? You say lifting, doing push-ups and sit-ups and
Yeah, push-ups, sit-ups, bench press, squats, calf raises, lunges, side lunges. Then I have like a core workout I do, like specialized like that. And then I have just other stuff I have to do to stay in shape, like sprints, like I say it's about 40 yards from like here to like a little bit down the street. So stuff like that. Get
so
myself ready.
how do you keep yourself motivated?
Well, I mean, I just think of everybody else that's probably working right now at the same time. And then if they're not, I mean, then I've separated myself from the people that aren't. So
Right, I get it. So, you're very fortunate as an outstanding student athlete to pretty much, humbly saying you have your pick of where you want to go. Tell me what you think it's like for an athlete who really wanted to get the best out of this, last year, or to really, try to play really hard at the end of the season. or someone who's looking forward to having their entire football season to kind of show themselves so they can get an opportunity?
Well, definitely work hard. Like I said, don't take stuff for granted because it can be gone in a second. But I mean, just it really comes in like the off season, because the more work you put in the off season, it's going to show in the regular season. A lot of people don't put in work in the off season and then expect, oh, I'm going to run a 4.4. Like, you haven't really done anything to prepare yourself for that. So I would definitely say that. I mean, just like have fun. Don't be too stressed out about it, because when you start worrying and stressed out, it's just you don't play as good. I realize that.
Wow, very good, very good. Great information. How do you keep yourself grounded? You know, when you have all this notoriety, everyone, telling you all kind of stuff, and I'm sure you understand that, people probably are going out of their way to get at you and, big you up and all that. How do you keep yourself grounded?
I mean, 'cause I just realized that, I mean, I didn't have anything like offer wise at a point in time too. So I mean, like, I'm not gonna like kind of disrespect the people that don't, because I mean, I started from down here too. You just got to work for it. But I mean, I'm just not that type of person that, oh, you don't have any offers, you're not good. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna encourage you. So that's my big thing. I want people to succeed. I don't want to tear them down or something like that.
So whenever you decide where you're going to go next to extend your education, what do you think it's going to be like when you get on campus, wherever that may be? What do you think you're going to have to do to make yourself stand out?
Well, making myself stand out, I know I'm gonna have to work harder than everybody else there. I mean, then more than just practicing, like do extra, stay longer, something like that. I mean, I'm expecting like it's gonna be a big change, because from like high school to college, like people are gonna be huge, fast. Everybody's gonna be fast, strong. It's just, what are you doing to separate yourself away from them to like stand out in college? So that's what I've really been trying to improve on, stuff like that. Because yeah, people aren't as fast as me now, but when I get to college, everybody's fast, but they have 20 more pounds of strength on me. So I really got to work on that.
Right, right. That's a really good perspective. Let's talk a second about the non-athletes. You always can talk about the athletes and all your teammates, but what do you think is like for the East Lansing student body? People who may not be heavily involved in sports, but their year has come to a halt as well. And what do you think is going to be like when school resumes? And what is it going to take to get people to kind of get back to some form of normalcy?
Well, for those people, I know a lot of them are still in like AP and pre-AP classes, stuff like that. So they start to take tests at the end of this month. So I was like, so that's kind of tough. But I mean, I know a lot of people that are like doing a lot of homework and schoolwork every day. I work out most of the day, honestly, but I talk to some people that are always doing homework, stuff like that. Even though we're not having SAT, they're taking an SAT outside of our school, so studying for that. So like how I said, I'm staying active, like physically, they're doing stuff like for schoolwork. So
Okay, well, you're doing a great job. I won't keep you too much longer. Just a few more things. You know, uh, if you weren't, Andrel Anthony, and you didn't have all these scholarship opportunities and things like that, how do you think it would be for you just as a regular everyday guy just trying to get through school?
I mean, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I would still be working hard. I'd be more motivated. I'm still motivated now. I I have to force myself to be motivated, but I'd probably be more motivated. Like, dang, like I want to get this opportunity, stuff like that. I got to work harder than ever before. My main thing is just like wherever I am in life, don't be satisfied. There's always more room to improve on, whether it's life, school, football, it doesn't matter. So,
I get it. I get it. Well,
mhm.
because of your notoriety and your popularity, people look up to you. Do you feel that you're a role model to a degree?
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that they look up to me. They want to be where I'm at, and I just tell them to be better than me. Like, don't be satisfied in just being how good I am right now. I mean, be better than me. So,
Yeah, good. Social media, how do you manage that with all the attention you get on social media? Do you find yourself, getting overwhelmed sometime, or that's not really an issue for you?
yeah, I do get overwhelmed sometimes, but then in that case, I just go outside, work out. I mean, just set my phone down, listen to music, have my phone like away from me. Just keep myself occupied outside of that. Because I mean, especially during this time, all the coaches like blowing you up, like, because that's all they can do. I'm not on my phone all the time. Like, I'm still a normal person. I have a life, but I just don't let it like overwhelm me as much as I used to.
Yeah, very good. Well, I'm gonna get ready to wrap up. There's a resource I want to share. It's a crisis text line. So if any of your teammates, classmates, or any person who's watching this, they can text the number 741-741. And on that, someone
Okay.
can respond to help someone who may be going through a mental health crisis, who may be having a tough time. Because as you know, a lot of young people, or a lot of people for that matter, have tough times. How important is mental health to you at this point in your life?
Extremely, because I mean, if you're like mentally like going through something like that, I mean, it can really affect you just every day. I mean, like if you're going through stuff like you don't really want to talk about it, then it builds up, and then like you're having breakdowns, stuff like that. So, I mean, I really, I know mental health is a big issue, especially because people are don't want to bother somebody or don't want to express it to somebody because they think they're bothering them or something like that. But I mean, people want to help. So, I mean, but they don't realize that. They just think, oh, I don't want to annoy this person with this problem, something like that. So that's good that you have the crisis line.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, I see you rocking that San Antonio Spurs, and people wondering what team you rock. Tell us again why you like the Spurs so much.
Well, I really like how they played together as a unit. I mean, nobody thought that they were going to beat LeBron and them. Like, you seen Kawhi shut them down. I mean, they had this Hall of Famer superstars. I mean, they're not flashy, but I mean, they just played as a unit and won the championship.
You like that? So you still support Kawhi as when he was with Toronto and with the Clippers?
I did, yeah. It
Okay.
was tough, though, because I wanted to go to state to win, but Kawhi, I respect him.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, the last thing, you've been doing a great job on this interview. I think you're a great representation for your family, your school, and
Thank
your
you.
teams. What inspiring words, Andrel, can you give the East Lansing community, your teammates, or just everyone as it relates to dealing with this COVID-19 and getting through this time?
Well, stay positive. Better times are coming. I mean, like, yeah, it's tough right now. That's stuff happens in life, but I mean, how are you going to get through it? What are you going to do through it? Are you going to sit around and complain about it, or are you going to make the most of it? So that's my big thing with any problem, especially with this one now.
Wow. Well, outstanding, man. Well, I want to wish you the best of luck. Thanks for
Thank you.
being available, and we'll catch you on the other side and keep supporting you with what you do.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.